YouTube, it's StretchD.Best. Y'all know the rest. We back with another reaction video, and today we are reacting to Simon the Digger versus Rayner, Gurren Lagann versus the White Lanterns. Or they should have just put DC like they normally do. But anyways, I know I've been slacking lately on videos and stuff like that. I'm getting them out. I got the One Piece and Sakamoto Days review coming probably either today and tomorrow. And yeah. So, I don't know too much about either one of these two. I know the White Lanterns might be the strongest lanterns in the DC verse. I'm not too sure. I heard that. I'm not too sure how true that is. And I've also seen that Gurren Lagann, the mech basically dwarves universes, and yeah. So they're pretty much both basically OP as fuck. But like I said, I don't know too much about either one of them, so this will all be new information for me, so I get to learn something. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share with family and friends. We try and get the channel booming. This is the family movement, and I will try to be more consistent with my videos. Lately, I just recently got a new overnight position, so I've been trying to adjust, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been basically sleeping majority of my day now, so I'm gonna try to get right back on it though, so don't y'all worry, y'all just gotta be patient with me. And we're gonna get started. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share with family and friends, trying to get the channel booming. This is the family movement. Come join the D clan, and let's go. I like how they showed it. Like,
Simmon the Digger,
Kyle Rayner, the White Lantern.
two men born of Earth with the willpower to pierce the heavens and conquer infinity.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Deep underground, Jiha village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their squalid cave.
That's where the hero of our story comes in. The young man who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last. Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Simmon. He was there too, I guess.
Simmon was a digger, content to drill endlessly through the dirt, until the day he found the core drill.
A key that activated the mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagann. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom.
Tell me if I should watch Gurren Lagann. I'm not gonna lie, mechs aren't really my thing, but I'm willing to try something new. So let me know if I should watch Gurren Lagann.
Seeing the sun after a life in the dark.
But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity, scoring a second mech in the process, aptly named Gurren.
And as befits Kamina and Simmon's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagann merged, creating Gurren Lagann.
With Kamina piloting the body and Simmon the head, these two were unstoppable.
Of all the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history, Gurren Lagann might just be the absolute coolest, fueled by its pilot's willpower and capable of making any weapon they can imagine.
Fueled by willpower? Oh, One Piece characters would love this. Imagine like Luffy or Shanks with like a mech that powers on straight will. That'd be incredibly fucking broken.
Including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course,
drills! Wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku! Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality. What up?
With Gurren Lagann's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces.
The only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole personality. What up?
With Gurren Lagann's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome.
Until Kamina died. Oh, wait, Shit, was that supposed to happen?
Wait, what?
Nope,
What?
and it
He
was
died.
all Simon's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price. After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit.
So his big bro left
shit.
him with these final words. Have faith in the Simmon who believes in you. Damn.
Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole time. It was Simmon who found Logon, Simmon who pierced the surface, and Simmon who would now lead humanity to victory.
Especially with his gal pal Nia at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral attacked.
Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis.
Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah.
Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and madness, the spiral turned outward spins forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential.
Potential Simmon would use as he led Team Dai Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral. And this is when Gurren Lagann gets crazy.
Channeling spiral power lets you constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simmon can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to shatter space and time with a punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren.
Okay. I had no idea. I had no idea they were like that. You know, when I see a mech anime, I think about Power Rangers. I had no idea they were like that.
Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions, all within a Planck instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light.
God, Jesus.
Oh, well, looks like this wins the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history. Congratulations, Gurren Lagann.
Move over, SpongeBob, you've been dethroned. Oh, and the guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the anti-spiral's greatest trap, the multiverse labyrinth, an attack that imprisons Simmon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simmon and his spiral power are just built different, and after being inspired by his bro, Simmon absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this
What do you mean he absorbed the what? He absorbed the multiverse is kind of crazy. That's kind of broken. How do you absorb a whatever.
labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Simmon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size and scope.
What?
Oh, we're just getting started.
Sorry for all the yawning. It's not because I'm bored. It's just I'm actually really tired. Like I said, I just started my overnights like a few days ago.
Imagine a 2-dimensional drawing interacting with a 3-dimensional person.
Okay, that's not too far off from what actually happened.
Because when Simmon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simmon who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simmon real, adding another.
Wait, so this nigga's the author of his own story? God, Rayner, you better have something.
To the mix.
Wait, if every human being has spiral power, you're telling me we can all do this shit?
This all gave our Simmon enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This is when Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy. Like, shooting missiles that alter probability so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simmon's power.
No. Nigga threw a universe like it was a frisbee. Oh, nah. I might have to watch Girl on Lagan. I know I said I don't watch mechs, but oh my god. I'm kind of interested now. It looked kind of crazy.
Power was so immense that he started generating
You know what? If this video gets at least 5 likes. If it gets at least 5 likes, I will watch Gurren Lagann and I will react to it. 5 likes, that's all y'all need.
super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Simmon turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does this mean he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
Like when Lord Genome used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown, or the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level for 7 days straight.
Information in physics is essentially the ones and zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
If I have spiral power, whiz, when the fuck is my leg growing back?
When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Simmon evolved one more time.
Into
what?
Super Tangentopa Gurren Lagann!
This mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a drill somehow even larger than that, Simmon and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
Hey, cruel indifference of the universe! Meet the indomitable human spirit!
Proving Kamina's words prophetic, that
banger.
Simmon's drill is the drill that would pierce the heavens.
So, is it like mech and like, I don't know. I gotta watch it. I'm gonna watch it. 5 likes. Video gets 5 likes, I will react to it.
The heavens.
With no more worlds left to conquer, Simmon chose to wander the earth for the rest of his days, in service to others.
Always looking up. For all the lights in the sky are stars, and every star another world of spiral cousins that can live free.
All thanks to a humble digger.
Spiral Cousins. Yeah.
The universe is a dangerous place. Should you find yourself face to face with an interdimensional vampire, alien dictators, or this one really pissed off cat, you know who to call.
The Green Lantern Corps!
That's a
They're the
classic
Space Fuzz, an intergalactic police force founded billions of years ago by blue leprechaun gods.
And the greatest Green Lantern among them was
They fucking stupid. They had the leprechaun in the corner. Yo. They're fucking retarded.
everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan.
You know him, you love him, you might hate him, but you gotta respect the man.
Yeah, cause that bullshit y'all pulled. Bro, him being Alien X is kinda insane. I'm not gonna hold you. Just putting that out there. I remember that shit.
And with a will as unbreakable as Hal's.
Until the day his will broke.
After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged through the core, killing everyone in his path, and absorbed the central power battery, the literal Green Lantern.
Becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax.
There was only one survivor of Parallax's.
Wait, so Hal is evil? Now? Was this recent? Or is this like, oh? Because I never heard of this story. I kind of want to, like, read it. I ain't gonna lie. That's an interesting take. What if a Green Lantern actually absorbed? Damn. Okay.
His killing spree, Ganthet, and with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human. Kyle Rayner.
So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable willpower like Hal was?
He was just there. He had no idea what was going on. Must feel good being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your own. Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck, Space Wheat, and a sentient fox can master it,
Daffy
what's
Duck
your
was a
excuse,
good
Kyle?
The Green Lantern ring can do anything, fulfilling any wish its user desires as though it were a genie from a lamp.
It lets you fire energy blasts, create force fields, affect gravity, turn invisible and intangible, manipulate matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence.
Think we're exaggerating? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over.
I want to read these. Protective aura, flight, galactic, database, artificial intelligence, invisibility, intangibility, time manipulation, time travel, age manipulation, matter manipulation, gravity manipulation, mind reading, reality warping, constructs. Constructs. Energy blast, shields, exoskeletons, melee weapons, projectable weapons, vehicles, animals, mythical creatures, mecha. Injustice 2, y'all remember that shit. Resistances, poison, entropy, antimatter. Hold on. That shit. And reality warping. Whew. That's a lot. He got a big kit. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's like
I still feel like Simon should win. Like, Simon's... I don't know. Because that neck, they said it was immeasurable. And then the drill was even bigger. We just gonna have to see.
stretching an inch into a light year.
Lanterns control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a Speed Force singularity.
Tapping into the Speed Force requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. And the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger.
Like the time that Boozer killed.
It might be a speed feat because they was able to measure Simon's speed. They said Green Lantern's Kyle Rayner's speed is immeasurable. So we just gonna have to see.
Kilowog survived being erased from existence by the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
While Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the Corps, Kyle's imagination is unmatched, probably because he's a comic book artist. And we know from this show, they think of some wild shit.
But the Green Lantern's most recognizable ability...
Hold on, I'm sorry. Y'all gave a comic book artist something that is based off imagination. That is insane. Cause little do they know, authors and like mangakas and comic book authors and all that shit, their imagination is wild. Cause they come up with different worlds. Like take J.K. Rowling for example. And just to let y'all know, I just recently watched all the Harry Potter movies. I might do a review on all of them. I ain't gonna lie. I might do that. But anyways, they create these worlds, they create languages, they create these different powers, these different lands, these is their creation. So for a comic book reader to have something, or a comic book creator to have something that is based off imagination and creativity, that's kind of wicked, like, when you think about it. That's like if Luffy was a comic book artist in, like, Gear 5. Like, you feel me? That would be insane.
Is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home
He's an anime fan. He's an anime fan.
computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots. Hey, that one looks familiar.
Kyle can make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait, 0.3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The ring's only downside is that it's limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge.
So it can blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone. Never mind, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Although
Simon
I'd say
didn't.
Kyle's
I don't
biggest
think Simon
weakness
really
was
has limited
Kyle.
dimensions.
With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Kyle wasn't the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope called fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male character's development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Kyle finally got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet from an
See, I didn't know. Wait, was it Parallax in the Green Lantern movie? That's actually kind of crazy. Cause if that's the actual Parallax, cause I didn't know Parallax was actually Hal Jordan. Like I said, I don't read up too much comics on DC, or really too much at all. Only comic books I've really read is my Spawn comics, which I might do a review on those. Depending, cause I gotta restart again, cause I ain't read them in a while. But yeah, that's kind of crazy.
emotional lobotomy. It's a long story. He had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
There are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless
The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls.
Red is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and replacing his blood with napalm. Which sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space, connecting him to others.
The final one.
So basically, this nigga got Conqueror's hockey in a ring. This nigga got Conqueror's hockey in a ring. That is insane. I ain't gonna lie, that's insane. That's kind of insane.
One was the Sapphire Light of Love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds. But Kyle only mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Oh, self-love. I get it. Must be nice. And with their powers combined, he doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a White Lantern with total control over the power of life.
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other Lantern in existence.
Far stronger than Hal, who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse.
Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, the white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation.
Resurrect the dead, so this man's a necromancer. He has every ability. Like, that's kind of cracked, but it has a time limit, though. Because I know the Green Lantern, the ring has to charge, so I know you gotta do that.
Creation, like the Anti-Monitor.
Okay, so it's not totally useless.
Especially after Kyle visited the Source and acquired the Life Equation. Essentially the source code to reality, the Life Equation is mathematical proof that life is worth living.
With it, Kyle can alter all of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid.
The Life Equation, like its counterpart, the
Can we get a Darkseid versus Trigon? Like, cause in that one DC movie, what was it? Justice League Doomsday. I forget. I gotta find it. But yeah, I want to see that fight. That fight was actually pretty cool. From what we see, I want to know who will win, the old gods or the new gods. Because that was kind of like the whole thing with Trigon and Darkseid, when Trigon was basically saving everybody, including Raven, which is honestly fucking surprising because he really wanted to kill Robin, which actually he did. And then they brought him back, which, yeah. Anyways, I just want to...
Anti-life equation is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together, they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
But with the power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings. Hey, remember Beerus vs. Sailor Galaxia? No? Well, that's because it was taken off YouTube for being too anime. But we've got a solution. It's our own website. That's www.deathbattle.gg. It's like our own private Patreon, with a store for death metal merch and a complete death metal video archive. It's got episodes that YouTube has banned, blocked, and censored, and there's even more goodies on the way. So check out deathbattle.gg live right now.
That's fire. I might check that out. I might actually go check that out.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
All right, I'm not rusty at all.
Hey dude, Green Lantern Officer Kyle Rayner here. Ring says you've got a Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Gurren Lagann's mine, officer. Just who the hell do you think you are?
Here we go. Is that... That was fucking Balrog. Somebody
Think
tell
you
me.
are?
That is Balrog from Street Fighter. That's crazy. That's fire. I like that.
I'm told I'm bad with authority.
Tell me about it. 4!
4?
He's like a cartoon without the cartoon. So he basically has Toon Force. Like, but without actually having Toon Force. That's how
That's nothing! My drill will pierce the heavens! Take it to Gurren Lagann! That's really cool. I'm a digger.
We do the impossible.
See the invisible.
Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you ain't know,
Now you know. I'm Simmon the Digger. If there's a wall in my way, I'll smash it down!
forget your fear of death, your love of your friends, your compassion for me, your hope for the future. Choose life.
Have faith in the Simmon that believes in you.
Super Tekken Topagur in the gun!
My drill is the drill that will transcend the heavens!
Giga Drill Break!
The super weapon wasn't your mech.
It was me.
Then, Simmon, I'm taking you in brightest day, in blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern fly!
Let's see you grit those teeth!
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
You'd make a good lantern.
Simmon of Earth, you have been chosen.
Just who the hell do you think I am?
KO!
Nah, he beat him and was deemed worthy. Oh, that's sick.
For the guy with the snazzy sunglasses!
When both combatants possess unlimited power, it's hard to judge them by our normal standards. Take speed. Simmon can hit an infinite number of targets all at once, and Kyle can fly fast enough to surpass the normal concept of speed itself.
When you control space and time, things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Instead, let's analyze them through a lens more applicable to beings as absurd as Simmon and Kyle. Their imagination, their willpower, and their ultimate potential.
First up, imagination. The boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could, like absorbing each other's attacks, fighting across time, anything.
Simmon did have a few attacks that Kyle hasn't encountered, like the probability-altering missiles, but it's likely Kyle could adapt considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
And in general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more creative than Simmon's arsenal, which was mostly drills. Though again, nothing Simmon couldn't adapt to with, say, his energy absorption. Imagination is a draw.
That leaves the other main factor for both characters, the origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
And that's really gonna be the winning factor here, since it's the source of everything for both of them. Whoever's got the stronger willpower wins.
Both can manipulate reality on a multiversal scale with their willpower, but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond the pale as Simmon and Kyle.
The multiverse labyrinth that Simmon absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions. That's 1.3 dimensions less than the multiverse Kyle's power can threaten.
And remember, each numbered dimension infinitely surpasses the one below it.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level. However, that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the edge, because if there's one thing both of these guys are known for, it's that they can always get stronger.
So to determine the limits of their willpower, we first need to understand their full potential.
Simmon's whole deal with spiral power is how he can constantly evolve to get stronger. So just because Simmon starts off weaker doesn't mean he'll stay that way.
Absorbing the multiverse labyrinth required Simmon to leapfrog several orders of infinity in an instant. Simmon made himself that much stronger through sheer force of will.
More than enough to close the gap with Kyle, especially since spiral power.
I'm telling you, put Luffy, Shanks, and anybody else with Conqueror's Haki in Gurren Lagann. That shit is going to be crazy. Like, imagine Luffy with a mech and it's straight willpower, which is Haki. That's Haki. Haki is willpower. So they would actually be a good fit. That would be a good fit for them. No funny.
Or also lets him regenerate his body down to an informational level. Kyle's never destroyed something that thoroughly before.
Without the ability to easily kill Simmon, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring ran low on charge. Especially since Simmon could likely regenerate for at least a week straight, like Nia did. While Blue Lantern Light could boost Kyle's power, he's never jumped several orders of infinity in strength like Simmon has.
And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simmon's willpower, Simmon resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw at him.
Everything, that is, except for the life equation. It originated from a higher level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Too bad Kyle couldn't control it. It was just as much a detriment to him as an asset, forcing him to relinquish it to keep from destroying reality and himself.
Compare that to Simmon, who merged with a version of himself writing a version of Gurren Lagann, and using spiral power to make that fiction into reality.
A pretty similar level of reality to the life equation, and a level of power Simmon had no trouble embracing and mastering by the end of his story. No matter how you look at it, Simmon might start weaker, but his peak will always transcend Kyle's. Isn't that how all of Simmon's battles usually go anyway? That's Gurren Lagann in a nutshell.
So Simmon's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle may have embodied life itself, but Simmon's unstoppable evolutionary potential would shatter even this lantern's light.
I hope Kyle at least dug the fight, because when it comes to death battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner is Simmon the Digger.
Next time on Death Battle.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Okay, cool. That was actually kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, word. I kind of figured Simmon will win. Like they said, he absorbed the fucking multiverse. And from what I heard, he dwarfs literal universes. So, bro was throwing universes like they were discs. Like they were frisbees. Like they were playing discus or something. I kind of seen that. But anyways, y'all, that's the reaction. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Once again, if this video gets to 5 likes, I will watch Gurren Lagann and react to it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see y'all later. Did I say the outro? Ah, fuck, it don't even matter. I'll catch y'all later. Anyways, StretchD.Best, out.